Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing okay. What brings you in today?
Okay, so we've talked about grad school. We've talked about kind of, the stress and the fears and just feeling overwhelmed by the amount of work. But right now, the main problem for me is just with finals coming. I feel like I don't actually know the things I'm supposed to know.
Okay, you're kind of feeling behind.
Yeah, I feel like, everyone else is getting it and, everyone has been getting it. And so now I'm stuck playing catch up. And with the amount of time that I have to catch up, I don't see how it's possible.
There's too much to learn at this time of the semester.
Right. And I should have been learning it all along throughout the semester. And I thought I did. I really thought I understood. I really thought I had a grasp on things. But then when I actually sit down and study and look at review questions and really try to answer the questions and apply and, just master it and be able to pass, I just feel I don't know anything. And I realize I don't know anything. It's not that I don't, I really don't. It's not that I think I don't. It's true, I don't.
So just like reviewing this makes you feel like you have no idea what's going on this entire semester. You feel like you've learned nothing pretty much.
Right, and now I'm stuck trying to relearn this entire semester within a week and a half. And I just know that that's unrealistic, and especially doing it on my own. Like, I can't teach myself something I don't understand.
Yeah, and you feel like there's not enough time for you to actually learn it.
Right, and I don't know how to ask for help. I know that I should ask for help, but I don't want to come across as stupid or like lazy. I don't want to seem lazy because I don't want people to be like, well, you haven't done work all semester, because if you had, then you would understand these things. Or I don't want to seem not capable or not good enough compared to everyone else, because it doesn't seem like anyone else is asking these questions or that everyone else has been struggling. And it's just like I don't want to come across as incapable.
Okay, so it sounds like a big thing for you is just a perception of others and how they're looking at your capabilities and your intelligence. It seems to be like a main factor in why you don't want to ask for help.
And my integrity, like I said, like I don't want them to think that I don't care or that I'm lazy or, just I guess that I don't care, because my thing is that they're going to think, oh, well, if you really deserve to be here, if you really wanted to be here, then you would have been keeping up with all of this throughout the semester, and I haven't.
So you think that they're going to judge you because you're asking these questions?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me a little bit of how you're feeling when you're, going over your notes. What kind of thoughts go running through your head?
So when I take the notes, I'm like, oh, that makes sense, like I get that. And then I go home and I'm rereading them, studying for finals, and I'm looking at it being like, I know I understood that. I know I did. But now I don't. And it's just completely blank. And I get mad at myself for not, going over it sooner and giving myself more time to understand.
Okay, kind of feel like overwhelmed just like rereading all those notes throughout the entire semester.
I feel overwhelmed. I feel guilty, because it's putting a lot of stress on me and really impacting me, and I don't sleep because I'm just so nervous about failing these exams because I wasn't disciplined enough to really make sure I understood it earlier. So it's overwhelmed, it's guilty, it's frustrated, it's anger, it's just all these negative emotions, and it's scared. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I want to prove to myself that I can do this, but realistically I don't see how.
It makes sense for you to feel like there's so much, like you're overwhelmed, there's so much going on. I'm sure a lot of people are feeling the same way. I don't think you're the only one that is feeling this way.
Yeah. It's just because no one else is vocalizing it and talking about it. It's just, I have, people in my program that are saying, I got this, I'm not stressed, like it'll be fine, like I get things, and then there's other people who don't say anything at all. So because like they're not asking for help, I assume they get it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you kind of feel like you're an outlier in the program, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. And just because, like I said, I just waited too long. It feels like it's unable to be fixed at this point. Like there's no going back. Like I wasted so much time that it can't be fixed. But like I want to fix it.
Yeah.
Like I want to pass. I want to be able to say I understand the material. I have to understand the material, So I kind of recognized that like I need to get over this fear of asking for help.
Yeah, it sounds like this fear is really what's holding you back from, reaching out and asking these questions.
Yeah, a lot. And I don't know how to get over that fear.
Yeah, so it's like the fact that you kind of feel like you don't have, I don't know, like a start point for you to ask those initial questions.
Right. I don't even know what I don't know. Like
I
look at the
too
notes.
much.
Yeah, like I look at the notes and I'm like, I don't even know what kind of questions to ask because I don't even understand the material enough to ask questions. My questions would be like, teach me this. Like
help, please.
Help.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just like they're gonna be like I think that they're gonna be like, well, you should know this.
Okay. So again, it's that what they're seeing you as. Like you feel like they're gonna be like, you don't know this? Like why are you here? It sounds like okay.
Or that like I don't want to bother them and take time out of like their day or what are their responsibilities to take care of me and my responsibilities. Like this was my responsibility. This was supposed to be what I was taking care of to make sure that I'm able to pass this test. And I feel like I didn't take care of my responsibilities. So now I feel like I'm pushing my responsibilities onto them because now they have to tell me again.
Okay. So what is a teacher's job?
To teach me.
Exactly. So what's the problem with asking questions you don't know?
I just don't want to annoy them, I guess. I know they're supposed to teach, and I know that they're supposed to make sure I understand, and I know you're right, but I'm just like, I can't get over that,
Yeah, it's just really just stopping you altogether, it sounds like.
Yeah, and like, I can't even put it into words, like, I just, like, can't ask, because I'm just so scared of asking.
Okay, so imagine that I'm your professor, and you have a question. How would you go about approaching me?
I'd be so nervous, and like, I know my body language would tell her that I'm nervous, and that just plays into it even more because I'm just like, oh, she's gonna know. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even hide my nervousness. Like, even now, like, talking about it, like, I have a nervous smile, and like, I guess, like, I would just be like, I know that I would try to explain to her that I tried. I thought I did understand. But now that when it's really coming to a point where it matters, I realize I haven't.
Okay. And what kind of feelings do you think would come about besides the nervousness when asking the question to your professor?
Guilt. Like, I'm sorry that I'm here, and I'm sorry that you've already taught me this when I know I should understand, but I don't, and I'm sorry that I don't, but like, please forgive me, like, I'm sorry that I'm taking time away from you, and I guess a little sense of fear that I still won't understand.
Okay. So yeah, it sounds like guilt is a big thing too. But I mean, I'm sure they get questions all the time. Like they're used to getting questions. So I don't think you should feel guilty for asking them.
Yeah, it's more of like I'm sure they get questions, like about specific things, but my question would be an entire semester's worth of questions.
It's just too many questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So what have you actually ever gone to the professor before to ask questions? Okay.
No, I haven't. I try asking questions in class.
Okay, that's good.
While it's happening, but like I said, like I'll ask questions in class. I'll get it when I'm in class, and then I go outside the class and I blank.
So what happens when you're blanking out when you're reading your notes again? But in class you understood it. So what do you think is changing between that time?
I think it's just time.
Okay.
I think like time is the factor where it's like my memory and my understanding of that fades because I don't have to talk about it and practice it like every day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, so you kind of feel like out of practice in a way because you're not exposing yourself to it every day.
Right. So like when I'm exposed to it that one day in class and we're talking about it and we're practicing it and it's right there and it's in the moment, I get it because that's what we're learning at that time. But don't forget, like once that class is over, we're moving on to other concepts. So like the concepts in the back of my mind aren't as strong as the ones now.
Okay. What are some of the things that you've tried to overcome this fear of asking?
I thought about emailing her, and that way, she can't see my body language and she can't hear it in my voice how scared I am. But then I get, then my other nervousness comes in where it's like, well, what if she doesn't answer? Or like, what if, then it's like, okay, let's meet, bring questions. I don't have questions because I can't make questions because I don't understand anything, So it's just like, my fear is that even when I do ask for help, I still won't be able to, I'll still be helpless.
Okay, so you feel like just because you don't know what to ask, sounds like, you don't think you're going to really benefit from asking questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
And so what are your thoughts? Do you think that it sounds like, you have this fear, but you want to change it? Is that something that you really want to do, or do you think you're okay with not asking the question?
No, I know that I need to ask questions. Okay. I know that I need to ask for help. I have to. Like, if I'm going to pass this exam, I have to ask for help because if I go in without it, I'm going to fail. So I know that I have to. I'm just scared to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the fear is what's holding you back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I really want to understand. Like, I know that these are important concepts and, like, this is a really, not basic course, but it's my first semester of a 2-year program. So I'm assuming that the skills that I'm learning in this class, I'm going to need for the rest of my time here. So, like, I know that it's important for me to learn these skills. I'm just, I don't know how to approach it. Okay.
But you know that this is something you want to change. So that's a good start because you're recognizing that this is an issue and it needs to be addressed. And the only way to do that is to take the steps towards, approaching the professor or just coming up with questions and all that.
100%.
Okay. So that's good. And what, okay, actually, I have, it's called this problem solving skills. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go over some list of steps for you to take that could be realistic or unrealistic, just a whole list, and then we'll go through them and you can tell me what you think is doable for you. Okay, so your problem right now is the fact that you're afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So the problem behavior is asking questions. Okay. And what are some ways for you to fix this problem?
I think it all comes down to who I ask.
Okay.
Because no matter who, I think that no matter what I do, I'm always gonna kind of still have that little bit of fear. So I guess, ideally, I would be able to ask my professor.
Okay.
In person would be
Okay.
the most ideal situation,
Okay.
and just like kind of man up and swallow my fear and do it. Like I
Okay.
said, I thought about emailing her.
Okay, so email the professor instead of in person.
In person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Email the professor. Okay.
Asking classmates.
Okay,
I guess, seeing if
sometimes.
seeing if they're struggling with the same thing.
Exactly, because then you kind of feel like you aren't an outlier, like we discussed before. Because right now, that sounds like what you're feeling is you're the only one feeling this way.
Yeah.
But it's possible that if you ask your classmates, there's likely to be somebody else that is feeling the same exact way.
Yeah. Or at least, like, if they don't feel that way, they'll sympathize with the fact that I am feeling that way, maybe.
And also they can help you, with questions too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe they'll, like, give me questions that I didn't even know I had.
Okay, so it kind of will help you develop questions.
Yeah. Let's see what else I could do. I could, like, seek a tutor.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm sure campus has
like a
tutors,
tutor
so
or something.
yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
I think that those would be my only real options.
Okay. All right. So out of so we have 5 listed here. We have ask the professor in person, email the professor, ask classmates, develop questions can be developed through asking your classmates, or finding a tutor.
Okay.
So out of these 5, which do you feel like are completely unrealistic that you can't do?
Definitely, as much as I would like that to be the best option for me, talking to my professor in person.
Okay.
I just know that, like, I'll just be too intimidated and I'll probably back out.
Okay. Anything else?
The tutor.
No.
Just because I feel like I've already kind of been taught and I still don't get it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and the other thing too is that would take out time of my day. Like, I would have to designate, like, going, and the other thing too is that, like, with a tutor, I feel like I have to just hope they understand.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah.
Okay, then we have email professor, asking classmates, and then developing questions through asking classmates.
Okay, I also feel like emailing my professor, just kind of like I've talked to you before, I'm nervous that, like, she's still gonna be like, you should know this, even though, like,
so
she might not even say it, but, like,
you feel like it'll be
she's
implied.
Thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll take that too. Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that the last 2 that we have remaining.
Okay. So out of those 2, which one do you think is best for you?
I think asking classmates probably would be the best choice for me. Just because, like, I know that developing questions is already on the list, but if I talk to my classmates, I can, like, gain questions from them as well. So it's kind of like I'm combining the 2.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And when asking your classmates for help, what are some barriers that might come about if you are going to them for help?
They might not understand it either. Or, like, what if their schedules and my schedules don't match? Like, what if we can never find a time to meet and really talk about this? Or I don't know. I think those would be like my two main ones. It's just like they don't get it either, and
Okay.
we can't figure it out. And still kind of, I guess, my fear of them judging me. But I guess I would rather have my classmates know I don't understand than my professor.
Okay. So the barriers are just the perception of others and kind of them not really understanding the information as well, so you feel like maybe you won't get as much out of asking them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What are some ways for you to these obstacles to be overcome?
Well, I can't help if they don't already know.
Right.
But I guess knowing that they don't know either will make me feel better.
Yeah. Again, it's like relating to each other.
Yeah. And like we mentioned before, like I know that I can develop questions from what I ask them. But maybe kind of focusing on like a couple of like really core issues that like I don't understand and going to them with those primary things and kind of like expanding off of those.
Yeah, that's a good first step, I feel like, is coming up with those questions. Okay. Okay, so it sounds like we have a plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so your first step is going to be asking your classmates. And by going to them, they'll either be able to, answer these questions, or you'll also just feel a sense of kind of like belonging and I don't know, inclusion in a way, because you're not the only one feeling this way.
Right.
Okay. So when do you think is a good time for you to ask your classmates? Do you think this can be done by the next session?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I have a couple weeks for the final, so if I, give myself a little time to build up the courage to ask them by next session, that'll be good, and then that will leave another week for us to like really study together.
Okay,
before
good.
The final.
Okay. So I'll write down our plan. Our plan is for you to ask your classmates questions regarding the content of the class. Okay. And then by next session, you will have done this.
Okay.
And we will go over what came about, if it was helpful, if it kind of made you feel like you will be able to take another step into getting to that point of asking the professor.
Okay.
So yeah, we can go over all of that next session.
I think that's a good plan.
Okay, awesome. So I will give this to you so you can look over it.
Okay.
And good luck. It'll be okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.